In this video, we're going over a day trade recap from Dr. Metals. Dr. Metals is one of the best zero DTE traders in the world, and he has a course out called the Statistical Day Trading Course. If you want to learn from him, we encourage you to take a look at that course or join the Dorian Trader, and you can learn firsthand from him and others at the Dorian Trader.
So Dr. Meadows, you are up if you're still on the call.
Oh yeah, man. I was just kind of checking in. It's been a little bit of a topsy-turvy week. Had a couple of winners, one loser, and one day that we turned flat that would have otherwise been a loser. So it's been a little difficult week with the CPI or the inflation data and all that, and the market kind
Mm-hmm.
of being all over. I think there's
Mm-hmm.
probably some a big move still baked in here in this market here. If I had to bet at some point, um,
A big move
yesterday
for
was
today.
yeah.
Mhm.
I still think there's probably something gonna happen before the day's out. I mean, I know we had a little bit of a reaction pre-market, but I still think something's gonna happen, a sudden drop or something. It just seems like that's just kind of how it is with macroeconomic news. Yesterday wasn't bad. Got in a little later. This later in the day entry, it had been doing relatively well, and then lately, we've had a lot of movement happening in the early afternoon, like 1 o'clock, 1:30ish, and so I've had some,
Mhm.
a little more stop outs and recoveries and that kind of thing I've needed to do in general. But as you know, there's no magic time to trade this, and things change, market conditions. Hold 1 second.
Okay. All right. So Dr. Meadows had to take a call there, as you guys hear. But this is interesting because this is 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, and the market closes at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's really late in the day, and he didn't hold this to expiration. I don't believe so. It was still some decent. And I remember yesterday, because I was in this 7 DT trade that turned to a 0 DT trade. The market held the premium for quite some time yesterday. So coming in at 130 was definitely fine yesterday. And I think he probably was in this trade, if he, and when he jumps back on, he can confirm he was probably on in this trade for like 2 hours. So tops, right? So the 1:30 to 3:30 is probably in it for 1.5 hours if I would be betting on this. So we'll see what he says when if he's able to get back on the call. So actually he told us here he was out at 3 p.m. So he was in the trade literally, like I said, he was literally in the trade for an hour and a half. So that's pretty nice to come out with $732. Is pretty awesome, and and without any adjusting, he picked the right time to come into the market. He let things settle down, and then he was able to execute, and he's become pretty of a master of picking the right times. Obviously not always, but it's interesting when he first started doing this trade. It would never come in this late, right? It was no way you would put so much risk on the trade, because when he first started doing this, I believe in like 2018, late 2017, something like that. Let's say early 2018, the volatility was so low in the market, and we didn't have these huge intraday swings. So most of the time, he would put on a trade, put his good to cancel order and his stop loss, and then be out of the trade without having to adjust, or actually he would stay in the trade back then until expiration and wouldn't have to adjust very much, right? So put it on early in the day, stay in it all day, get all the monies, right? But if you did it later in the day, you just didn't get any premium. You back, Dr. Metals?
Yeah, and everything you were saying was okay. And
Mhm.
I just want to point out, if you just another day of just needing to just manage these things.
Mhm.
Was it Wednesday or Tuesday that was really
So Wednesday or Tuesday, I'm not sure. You had something on Wednesday. This
The
was
big drop was Tuesday.
this was Tuesday. It says 1 p.m. had been working pretty well. All right, up until lately. All right, so this maybe you're talking about this one on the 12th, Dr. Mellors, if you're still here.
Yeah,
I'm not
correct.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So that was an instance there where um, I think I had two put side stop outs on that day,
Hmm.
and basically wound up recovering to go to get even for the day. I think I was maybe like minus $130 or something like that when it was all said and done. But that was just an example of, wait a minute, that was a full loss day there. Um, yeah, that was a full stop out there. I think the other day I posted in there where it was
Yeah, I think this one maybe let's see. Maybe this was a
there we go.
basically
That's it
a
there. Yeah,
flat
that was
day.
basically a
Yeah.
scratch out there. So that's an example. So that's interesting you showed that one before. So the previous one, that was a full stop out. This
Mm-hmm.
one here was, I had two stop outs on that day because the day was just up and down. That's just a horrible graph for zero
Yeah, yes,
DTE. And the
exactly.
point is, you can get back to even if you're willing to manage that. You know what I mean? I almost honestly got stopped out on the call side. It would have been a rare double stop out. I took a little pressure there, but didn't. But wound up getting stopped out twice on those big down candles. So yeah.
Okay, okay. Awesome. So Dr. Meadows, quick question.
hmm
Have you heard about that they're going to stop allowing spread stop orders?
Yeah, I saw somebody posted that in a Facebook group, and then
Mhm.
it got to be controversial over whether it was a CBOE thing that was going to affect every platform, or was it
Mhm.
a platform specific thing. So
Mhm.
supposedly people were saying that like E-Trade was still going. Wait a minute. Either E-Trade was one of the ones that wasn't going to allow it, but Tasty still was, and vice versa.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
just saw that last night, and so I haven't had a chance to really confirm that. So for
Okay.
some people, that's a big deal, right? For the most
Mhm.
part, like I said, I'm a short strike guy, so it doesn't
Mhm.
affect me so much. But
Mhm.
for people that like to trade particularly narrow and do want to
Mhm.
put a stop on the whole spread, I mean that's a
Mhm.
big change. So yeah, we
Absolutely.
got to
It's
get
gonna
some
be harder
clarity on
to
that.
Yeah, it's gonna be harder to manage. But Jack brought it up to me last night, and I told
Uh-huh.
Jack I immediately realized that for what you teach in the statistical day trading course, it's not gonna
It,
affect that though, because
it
you
doesn't,
talk about
right?
the short leg,
It's a short
put the
spread,
stop
right?
loss on the short leg.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you don't put your stops on spreads. Some of
Correct.
some some of us do, and so that would be a change for me because I'm an adjuster. It wouldn't really be a big change for me either, but for people like Tammy Chandler or whatever her
Yep.
last name is, she she does that those trades
Yeah.
where she's kind of putting
Yeah.
a trade every hour or something like that, right? And she's putting
Yep.
tight spreads. So that would
Yep.
change the dynamics of her trade without having
Yes.
stops. So if
Correct.
it's just E-Trade, then she's probably gonna have to switch to someone else. If it's gonna be the entire market that's doing that, then it's going to be a complete change for how you trade there then.
And I haven't seen any kind of rationale or reason as to why that would be the case. Like, do you have any idea why they'd even do
So
that?
yeah, so to my theory, I don't know, Dr. Meadows and everyone on the call. My theory is that we have these market makers that are all computer wise now, and for some reason they don't want the positions to be held there on some database or something that's making it a little bit more challenging for them, or the CBOE or the exchanges don't want it anymore because they can't handle all uh, the orders that are coming in like that now, because it's so many people trading zero DTE now that's doing these type of stop loss orders that they just
Uh-huh.
can't handle it, and so they're just saying we're going to stop requiring that now. So that's my theory. That's the only reason why I would think if they would do it, because they just data wise they can't handle it anymore,
Mm.
and so because you would think you would want kind of cater to the people who is bringing you business, but the exchanges they don't really care, right? They're gonna get business regardless. So
Wow.
yeah, they're going to try to make it easier on themselves. And that's why a lot of times we see these strikes that we just don't understand. Why haven't they provided more strikes on something, or why these strikes they went from 10-point wide strikes on on the NQ in the futures to now everything is basically 100-point wide strikes. It's all about data kind of restriction for them. They can't handle all the information anymore, so they're trying to cut back, trying to figure out. And in exchange, they can do whatever they want. They're still going to get business, right? They're going to increase the prices. They're going to get business, especially this, certain exchanges like the futures exchange, the CME. They really have a monopoly going on right now. So anyway, that's my thoughts. If we find out if it's something else, then
I'm gonna
we'll
find
see.
out for sure.
Yes. But you're gonna put on a trade today, but you're gonna wait until probably 1:30 again.
Yeah, I'll probably wait a little later. See if I can't at least see this, what I anticipate is going to be another big move before I put some on. Yeah. So
Okay.
absolutely. Okay.
So thanks for sharing, Dr. Mello. Super appreciate it. Good to hear your voice.